Hey guys, Christoph here from the Card Boys. We got Drummond here with his winner ace deck profile. Thanks for being here, Drummond.
Yep, that's all good. I went 5-0 at a tournament with Red Ace. Some of the matches are pretty tough. Beat an L in the finals. Boa, Lucci, Red Purple Law, and Bonnie, I think. But I think Ace is heavily underrated. He's very good into board-centric decks because you got your Flame Emperors, your Portgas Aces. You can clear really well and you have a lot of counter power. He does struggle into black, but there are some ways you can combat that deck, and I'll show you some. So, starting off with the cards that every Ace deck should run. 4 Ezos. The Whitebeard package is just too good. There's no reason to run the Straw Hats. You could. Straw Hat package can give you access to like Rush Luffy, but I feel like every deck has too much counter this set. Now a new card from OP7 that is surprisingly good is Mark's Deuce. This is basically the 1-cost Searcher Buggy, but you can also find your 7-cost Ace. So it kind of makes it more consistent. You can find most of the events that Ezo can, plus your Radical Beams, plus the 7-cost Ace, which is probably the best card in the deck. Next for the 2Ks, Jozu. Jozu's just a very good card. If you're at 2 or less life, you can get Rush. Don't really do it, but it could be a finisher, just a nice searchable 2K. You do get access to the new Thatch 2K in the new starter deck, which you might be able to run. But the other thing is, the other 2K you're most likely going to run is Otama. Otama's the same as the new Thatch, but it doesn't have that life-taking requirement. And paired with all the KO events and other KO, Otama's just a very good card. Not searchable, but it's fine. Next is Marco. Pretty much a Whitebeard staple. This card's really sticky, and against black, you're pretty much guaranteed to keep it alive for at least 4-5 turns, because Ace just has so many events in the deck. If you can play this on 5 and it sticks, it's just an annoying 6k body. You can pop Rebecca blockers as well, which is huge. Next, you got the 7-cost Ace. This card is way too good. You neg 2 things by 3, and then you basically use the board clear. If you can drop these back to back, you have a lot of board presence. You can clear everything, because negging 3 and then swinging, 5 or 7, or maybe you're boosting leader, they're not going to be able to counter out of it. And if they are, you have card advantage. Because Ace is, you don't really care about your hand too much. You kind of want your board to be strong, and then when you start dropping the big bodies, like your Whitebeards, you can easily use Ace to combo with Whitebeard, get the neg 3, and then attach the 2 Don to Whitebeard, kill a 5k, which is helpful against some blockers, as well as other board-centric decks like Blue Dofi. Next for the 1-off, I've got a 1-off Dragon. This card is surprisingly good. I used to have more of this in the deck, but I only have 1. It's pretty powerful just to drop it, because you can make your leader a 7, so you can swing 7 and then 9 with the 2 rested Don under the Ace. Very underrated card. The only problem is it's not searchable, and late game it can be a bit of a brick. Next, I'm only playing 1 Marco blocker, mainly just because of blue. I don't really want to be playing it against RP Law and blue, because the on-KO ability is nice, but I'd rather just play the 5-cost Marco, which forces heavier removal than the 4-cost Marco. You don't really need more blockers in this, because you're playing around board, you're mainly relying on the 7-cost Ace, and you can't play the Marco and the Ace in the 1 turn. And next is a new addition, is Shanks. Now Shanks is a very underrated card. Against yellow, this is your best friend. They drop the 10-cost Ace, you immediately KO it, and they can't get rid of it unless they play Kingdom Come. Most decks can't get rid of it. It's really tough for Loot to get rid of it. They need an extra card after they play the Gecko combo. Moving on to the event package, we have 4 Flame Emperor. This deck is pretty reliant on Flame Emperor, because it's a good way to remove something and put a lot of pressure on decks that don't want to take life early on, because you force them to either counter out or you take the 2 life, which puts them in closer range of dying to your Aces, your Dragon, or just swinging with markers. Plus, it also has a pretty good trigger, 5k, which is helpful to kill your Borsalinos or other 5k bodies that might persist. Next is 2 Jet Pistols, pretty similar to Flame Emperor. You're only really playing this if you have nothing to do early on, or you want to kill a Sabo blocker that's being pesky, or a Kadatsu. Next is the 4 Radical Beams. Radical Beam has too much value in this deck. Being 1 Don 4k, or if you have no Don, he's still a 1k counter off the Ace ability. But when you drop the Whitebeard, you can counter to 11, which is helpful against decks that don't Don up as much, such as it now, because they're only playing 1 big body and then swinging large. Radical Beam's very good. Easy 4 of. Could run guard points as well, but I feel like you don't need much defense, and you're more looking, like I said, to control that board with your Flame Emperors and other things. Next is 3 5 Fist. You could probably cut this card down, but I think this is way too good into Red Purple Law because you're negging their characters with an Otama or Ace, and then you're clearing 2 characters. Or if they're playing like blue and they got like a Jinbei 4-cost Law, you can clear those just with 2 cards. Next is 2 0-cost Event. Very good card. It's a 1k counter if you have no other cards in hand, but otherwise, you can get rid of your Aces, you can get rid of your other events, your Whitebeards if you need that counter. Plus the trigger can come in handy if it's, you need the neg 3 on something. Next, with a 1 Seaquake. I don't really like Seaquake because it only really kills small things, which I feel like Marco does by itself already, or Fire Fist. Seaquake's fine if you need to kill like a Rebecca blocker, but I feel like against black there's better things you can do. And the next for my most underrated card is There's No Way You Could Defeat Me. Now this is a 3 Don counter, but you kill someone with a base power of 6 or less, which might seem a bit weird, but often if you don't have a marker early on, you're going to have 3 Don just sitting there, and most opponents will be thrown off guard by this card. So they might swing everything after playing a character. You can just kill the character for free because donning them up doesn't really matter. So very underrated. It can change people's turns completely. If they have a Sabo blocker that hasn't been protected and they swing, you can kill the Sabo. You can then put the pressure with the Ace or the Whitebeards on board. So this is the deck. I think it performs pretty well. Yellow, I feel like the matchup's better than most people think because you have a lot of kind of big bodies. You got your Aces, your Whitebeards, your Dragons, and your Shanks. You can easily control board with these cards. Against other decks like Boa, you can Flame Emperor and then swing. You're kind of just hoping to kill them as fast as possible because unfortunately there's not much card draw in this deck. But I feel like the strategy I do is I go down to 2 or 3 life early so that I can have a big hand and then hopefully see an Ace or a Shanks or Dragon and then just try and clear the board. Once I have nothing, I can set up Whitebeards, try to kill them in 1 turn while I'm keeping alive because there's almost no bricks in this deck. You're mainly looking at Ace, Whitebeard and Shanks and Dragon. Those are the only bricks because everything else has 1k or counter or more. But otherwise, I think Ace is very good. Not the best, but I think with a good pilot, he can definitely do well at a tournament.
Alright, no problem. Well, thanks for showing us the deck, John. Appreciate it. Sorry for the background noise. Got a Beyblade competition down the end there.
I mean, Card Boys Beyblade,
Yeah, that's coming soon. But yeah, no, congratulations on the winner. We'll catch you around.
Thank you.